Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. How's everybody doing tonight? We have Antoine in the chat. Welcome to the stream. What is new, my friend? How are we doing? How are we feeling? How's our summer going? I have been very busy doing all the crazy things. This working for a living is getting in my way, but that's okay. Going good, thanks. I love that. I'm so stoked to hear that. I'm very happy. Okay, so what we're gonna do today is a little more of what we worked on last week. So we were working on book layouts, and I played around a little bit with InDesign to get brush off some of the dust and get things squared away. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to inform the Discord people. So this past week I've been working on all the copy and making sure that I have most of it ready. There's still a few sections I need to write. But I'm almost ready. And I have some fabulous humans reviewing for me to make sure that I am making some sense. And then, come on, copy text, paste text. Right new. Okay, so I was working on the copy, and then when that's all ready, I'm going to show a little bit of what I dusted off for InDesign, and show you how we can leverage a lot of that to make this a lot more straightforward than it feels. Antoine says, I contacted the last Thursday British Airways to suspend my trip in Gibraltar with the proof, and they said, okay, no worries. Oh, thank goodness. That's one of those things that could easily be a nightmare. So I'm very glad that that was not the case for you. Thank goodness. All right. So I am going to show you how we're going to do InDesign. I just want to get some backgrounds squared away here. So I'm just going to copy that artboard and this artboard. Because what I want to do is just kind of like just get the background squared away. I don't want all this content on here, and I'll show you in InDesign shortly. Right now we're still in Illustrator. This is the same file we worked on last week. It didn't even close. My poor computer. Leaving everything open all the time. And then what we'll do is, because there's 4 suits, I need a second page. So all this is doing is taking everything that's on these artboards and copying them for me. Now, like I mentioned last week, I could very easily like name all of these and have like where it says here, you can see like artboard 1 copy 10. This is just kind of like a get my feel for what I'm looking for file, but if I was using this for something a little more structured, I may like name these. Like it would be really good if you watch Dan's live streams, sometimes like he'll do something like a whole branding situation, and he'll have a whole set of artboards like this, but they're all different shapes and sizes for YouTube covers and then Instagram reels and all that kind of stuff. So all the different orientations, and so if that's the case where naming all these artboards would make a lot of sense. For here, I'm just going to embrace the chaos and just let this be, because it's more, for me, a visual output. It's not no one else is going to use this file, but something that has been introduced relatively recently to Illustrator that you probably could put to good use if you're using all these different files. Now, okay, I just want like I said, just the white backgrounds. So I want to look at this spread first. Goes over the edge a little bit, but that is okay. And I will explain why when we get it into InDesign. Now, I like that this spread here, okay, shoo. Let's get these menus out of our way here. I like that this spread that is the same paper pattern, but different types, and this is just flipped, so I don't know if I love that just yet. Oh, rogue card. Okay, what I want to do here is, so all I'm doing with the double click is I'm entering the group without having to ungroup things, and it's isolation mode that's called. So I can keep things grouped without having to ungroup and regroup them, making a huge mess. Now, which paper patterns do I want? Are the paper patterns not in this folder? That's a little bit chaos. I don't think it's going to matter here, but our folder structure is going to come into play when it comes to InDesign. I'm glad I looked it up on my lunch break today because I forgot about that. And we could have made a huge, ginormous mess. Okay, I want paper patterns I actually use in the tarot deck, and how come none of these look like the right ones? Okay, we'll use one of these. So I'm just placing this into this group, and she's upside down. So we're gonna right side up her, hold shift and it'll click. And then what I'm gonna do here is I put this on top, and I'm holding shift while I drag, which in Illustrator it's deselecting the text, the paper pattern I just put down, and selecting the one underneath it. So when I move this, you'll see the red one is all gone now. And the reason why I keep the group is because when I exit out of this, it's maintaining my delicious mask, which is nice. So I don't have to recreate that, and it's going to be stay the same size and all that kind of fun madness for me. Now, I'm holding the direct select tool now because I want to kind of just when I do the direct select here, I'm grabbing only the paper pattern in behind, but as you can see, it's not adjusting the size of our box at all. It's just showing what's within it so that I can more easily adjust that without having to kind of guess at what's showing up. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. I held option and dragged over to copy that section, held shift again, and then deleted the red. But I don't want this to be the same. Copied and paste. I want it to have different elements. So I want to see if I can pull some of this guy out here. I don't know if it matters to me that there's a break in the text. I don't know that that's distracting. I don't know if it's distracting that only one has that. Maybe I pull this one a little bit the other way, like that maybe. RB! Disguised as Lady Jane with his "What up, duck?" You're hilarious. How are things? What's new? Okay, I'm going to place... What's the other one that I wanted? I wanted patterns that I use regularly, but that had like some text to them, like texture to them, which is the word I want. This is the one I want. So we're going to do this. I think that's upside down, so we're going to do this. Same old, same old. That's cool. Just new clients. Ooh, that's fancy. What's new here? Not a lot. Well, finalizing this tarot deck chaos, which is amazing. Lots of fun. Hopefully the weather's going to play the game and I can go camping in a couple days. And then going to see some family this weekend. And yeah, just kind of enjoying the summer a little bit. Although it's been so muggy lately, I wouldn't be upset if fall came soon. But that's just me. I won't wish that just yet. I'll let everybody do their thing. All right. Ew, I do like that. Just fancy. Okay. So see, I like that they're both the same pattern, but we're seeing a little bit. Oh, I kind of like, they're never going to interact, but Artboard 21 and 18, I kind of like that they almost connect there. It'll never, the way I'm doing this, because this is the outside of the pages, they're not going to run into each other, but that's kind of cool. Maybe if they're like, happen to be like, this is on one side of the page and that's the other, maybe they'll line up a little bit. I'd be the only one who notices that. I'll be off to the coast again in 10 days. Ooh, that's exciting. That'll be fun. Ooh, yes. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to see what the rest of that paper pattern looked like, what it had on the other side. Because I didn't love that it was just like rotated. Because the other ones aren't. They all have kind of a different element of their paper pattern to them. Showing on the other side. This is all just kind of for the background. It's nothing extra fancy. But I want to... I'll know. Okay, so 16, 17, oh my goodness. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to export PNGs of these. So I'm going to export the PNGs. And then what I want to do down here is down at the bottom here, I want to do use artboards. Because if I just do PNG and I don't use artboards, it's just going to take everything that's on here and put it on one big fat poster, which is not what I want in this case. Sometimes good for if you're doing like client work or something, like I was saying about like DTM, how he sometimes has like branding content around for something. If you want to give somebody an idea of the big picture, great idea. But in this case, I don't want that. So I want each individual page. And so in this case, I want a range. You can do all of them if you want, but I want a range. And that's what I was just checking earlier. So like I said, I'm not naming my artboards. But the number matters. So I want 14, 15. They're a little bit backwards because of the timing in which I copied them. But I want artboards 14 through 21. And then I want to put them in my folder I created earlier, which is book layout. And I'm going to do a backgrounds folder. So in InDesign, at least the way I learned, linking is a big deal, so that's why you're going to see me doing a lot more folder structure here than you're used to seeing me do with my other files. I usually just kind of go to the tarot files and their specific folders and get the content there. But for some of this, it's a lot easier. Everything's in one place. So I'm going to export all that. It'll have the suffix, which is fine. I'll show you that in a second, and I will do export. It doesn't matter. So this will give you a transparent background if you're going to put things around it. You can choose a white if you want, and it shows you in this little window if you want white or if you want black. And then this will do like a solid export for you. In my case, I just want it to be for my own. White. Some people are learning RB. All right. So I chose a white background on that one because then I can hold the whole space instead of it just being transparent. Just trying to think now. Okay, so if I go over, so I'll show you what that looks like actually. Oh, why? I never want to use the folder structure like that. Yeah, goof. Book layout, backgrounds. So here's all my backgrounds here. So artboard 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2022. So that's all of them there, so you can keep track of which artboard was which, etc. So I think what we'll do is we'll play around with these ones a little bit here before I go into, because I have to do some testing on how I want like the major arcana to come through. The border in the middle, like I didn't touch this since last week very much, so I don't think we're going to go too far there. And I like the look of this that I was playing around with, but I suspect on the black, maybe I switch it out for like the paper pattern black. Let's try that actually while I'm thinking of it before I forget. That posts, you silly. Yeah, bud. Boop. I made this already a clipping mask. Can I borrow you for a sec? Thanks. Mafu's in the chat. Welcome to the stream. How are we doing? How is the tech in business? Okay, I need this to go in behind here. And then select both and make clipping mask. And then I'm going to play with this a little bit to get a good structure of a pattern here. What about this side? No, no, darker on this side. Eee. Just want to make sure it's all within that space. Oh, no, what I've done. I'm in a meeting with my clan right now. Our leader has plans for events and tournaments. Love that. Oh, clipping mask maintained because life is good. I freaking obsess with that. Okay, so there's just something there that we can play with. I won't fiddle with these because that's not why we're here today. But use a little bit of the pattern or something like that. So these I have to mess around with a little bit more to see how I want the structure to be. But I think, oh no. What do you mean has plans? That's hilarious. No, no, that's not what I wanted. Oh no, this one. Oh gosh. Oh no. Restream, you're just like no good, man. It logs me out every time I switch screens. It's freaking chaos. Hang on. Let's try again so I can see my chat. So, okay, so for these cards and the major arcana cards, I'm going to kind of just not mess around with them too much. I'm just going, I'm like there, I have to fiddle around with them before we get into what we're doing today. I think we have enough content for now that we can cover the InDesign part of things without making too much of a mess. And if we run out of time, then you can watch me play with these. But I'm going to save this file for now because with all these tarot files open, I'm asking a lot of my computer. Mafu's looking forward to competing in a tournament. It's been 2 months since your last one. Already? Holy cow. Time does fly. Okay. Holy cow, that file's bigger than I thought. What else do I have open? The box. The logos. Not that much. Just asking a lot of my computer. So we'll just wait patiently while it saves. Because my InDesign crashed earlier and I don't want that to happen. Come on. Okay. So, okay, I'm popped over to InDesign now. So InDesign, there's lots of ways you can use it. But one of its main kind of purposes is for book, magazine, kind of spread layout. It's something that really helps with kind of publishing of items, and there's a lot of really cool tools that it has available for the user to make things very, sorry, it didn't stick, to make things a lot easier. So rather than me kind of typing into each little text box, I can use a lot of linking files, and I can use a lot of information that's from outside and bring it in with reduced complexity. That doesn't sound very not complex, but I'm going to show you some of the things that I've set up. So one of the first things that I did was when I do a file, new document, book, library, I think I did document. Is that what I did? So I started with a single page, and I put in my final page size of what I wanted. And this is what we were working to last week. How many pages? You can start with, like, you can start with 1,000 if you want to. You can always add more. So in this case, I started with 1 page, and my page count started at 1. But you have control over all this information. Facing pages, you do what orientation you want. You can set up for columns. So if you're doing something more like a magazine or something that has columns, you can set that up in here. And then how much space you want in between it. All of this you can edit after the fact. You don't have to do all this right up front. I had to really remember what I needed to do here and made some adjustments. But if you know all this kind of stuff, if this is kind of your jam, you'll know what these numbers are for yourself. So don't worry if you don't know what they are right now. I put in margins here. So this is kind of setting up some of the guides I did in Illustrator earlier, but a little bit more official capacity. So I have all my margins here. I put them at 1/4 inch. Those are going to be the purple line that we're going to see in a moment. You can have them uniform, or you can have them in a different, or like different sizes if you'd like. That would be just clicking this little link here, make them all the same, or if you unlinked them, then you could have like the top margins closer if you wanted to, or whatever else, whatever works for your file. And then you want to set your bleed. I set mine at 1/8 inch. I had talked to the printer who's going to do these books, and that is their requirement. So I put in 1/8 inch here. So that'll be our red line that you see on the page. Slug. Now, anybody in the chat, if you correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a long time since I've done this. I think this usually kind of like the room for like the folds in the book. So allow for the pages in the gutter. I did not account for this just yet. That's my bad. I'm kind of mentally doing that. Yeah, so that like all these different things can be printed. You can look them all up. You can ask questions if you want. And you can also preview your changes if you want to. I'm just going to close this because I don't want a new document, but I'll show you. So if you can see on the chat, on the screen, there's a red line out in the dark gray section. That's the bleed. So anything that I want to go off onto the edge without leaving a white border space, I need all the artwork to go out as far as that red line, at least over the white and into the red section. And then the margins here, like I said, I just made mine 1/4 inch, just because that's kind of a habit I've gotten into. But this is just kind of a border for me to make sure I don't go too far out of there, because that could be where I'm risking any cutting or slicing, and it may be getting a little too close to the edge. So those are just guides for me. They won't print. They won't export unless I really ask them to, but they're not gonna print at all on these files. And then you can, if you keep adding, so you can see over here, I think on the right, I don't think you can. Let me pull this in, see if you can see. There we go. Okay, so on the right, here's my spread of pages. So if I go down and add a new page, you can see it's added like a left part of a spread and a right part of a spread, a left, a right, a left, a right. And it's just kind of keeping that same style that I'm doing, but it's keeping it as kind of like if the book was open for me to take a look at. So I'm adjusting each spread here as I want to. And I can move these around if I want. If I'm like, oh, I want that page up there. That's not going to do anything right now. But you can move them around still if you would like. And you can also set styles here. Oof. Okay, we're not going to get into that right now because I'm not as familiar with it, but you can set like your own kind of masters. Left spread right, left spread right. So you can set some masters for different styles, which is something I kind of want to do, where I could kind of set up my major arcana layout and be like, I want this card to be that, I want that card to be that. I haven't done that in a very long time, so I won't do that right now. But I did set up a couple other like styles and things, which I can show you how that kind of thing would work. We have Alessandra in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, RB says set a master page for specific or all page layouts. Yes, so you can do that. I'm going to have to just refresh my brain on how to do that so we're not fumbling through today. But I will show you a couple of other things how some styles work. Because this is roughly kind of how one of my masters may be laid out. So I was just playing with this before I got onto the stream. And what I want to do is kind of lay out the page a little bit here and just kind of give an idea of what I'm looking for some of these cards, some of these spreads, sorry. New parent. Okay. Pickles. Okay. Is this where you're presenting the tarot project? So this is the book that we're working on right now, Mafu, is the companion book that would go with the deck because it is, oh dear, what have I done? Oh, okay, I know, sorry. Oh dear, I want out of here. I want this. There we go. So it goes with the companion piece, but goes with the book. So the idea here is that like that when you're pulling your cards, this is the book that's kind of like this one, that tells you what the cards mean, what it means if it's upside down or if it's right side up, and what it would mean for you. So the book here is laying that out. And I think I'm changing my mind and I'm actually going to try this. Oh, nope. Paste. So I'm going to, can I rename this? Oh, it's Major Arcana. That's not what I wanted. Okay, that's fine. That's just me. That's just me. Let's do Swords. Okay, so what I'm labeling this as is if you were going to base this off of, like, you can link all of your styles and everything. Let me set up one first before I make a mess here. So can I delete the content from this? No, I don't want the image out. I just want... Can I just stop that? Oh, sweet. Okay. I want the text out. Oh, no, I don't. I just want the text out. So we want... Oh gosh, I've fallen behind on the chat. Very tired. Oh no, Alessandra. That is no good. Okay, and then what I want to do is place. So what we're going to do here is we're going to place from my book folder and my backgrounds. So the swords are which? The swords are a magic one. That's color. So I think we want it to be... Hello? Uh-oh, I've frozen a thing. Where's InDesign? There we go. Okay. What is happening? Let's try again. So what I'm doing is creating like a master, like you would in PowerPoint. Blech. Why is this not working? Why it's not select the things? Okay, we're having a glitch here. What is going on? I'm gonna save this before it has a fit. Can I not place an image? It doesn't make sense that that would be the case. How come my mouse is not working? Okay. I am in charge. I am a strong, independent woman who can make this happen. So I don't want that one. I'm tired because I had a long day at work and on a busy weekend. Had my art event on Saturday. Woohoo! How did it go? Was it excellent? Oh, nincompoop. This. For reals. No, bro. Now, InDesign is weird. Because sometimes it's like already masked content. And sometimes it's not. There, she's gonna work this time. Okay, something was askew last time. There's not what I'm looking for. Maybe this is the wrong size. Oh, Dari's in the chat. Welcome to the stream. What is new? How come? Ah, Alessandra said, Aaron said the mouse is not working, so I blame the cat. Yep. Blame the fact that I don't have a cat. And then I'm going to file on this page, file place. Now you're going to notice that this side. So, okay, so if I go to so that's the parent page, and I want to go here. How come? Oh, I know. Arrange. Been using the wrong software. Send to back. There we go. And now if I go over here, now you can see all of these things are in place. But the text boxes are there. See, this is why I didn't want to do this just yet. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I was setting up like text space that I could use. No, this isn't going to work for me. Okay, I'm going to delete this parent page. This is making a mess. So a really good thing about InDesign is it's kind of like looking at your whole file, and it's looking at your connections and stuff like that. So right now it's noticing, hey, you've got 15 pages with this on it. Are you sure you want to delete it? I'm saying yes. And I want to delete both of these. Yes, I do. So or actually, instead of deleting it, maybe what I'll do is I'll delete this stuff out of it. I'll delete these out of here. I'm sure there's a way to make these function. I was thinking of it as like a PowerPoint opportunity. I didn't want that to be the case. And then what we'll do here, I'm going to parent options. We're going to do coins. And so can't just replace content. This is the thing with some of the Adobe things, because they'll have similar functions, but not always. So sorry, the coins are what? You think I would, I'm shocked at how little I remember which one I made what. Circus, okay. So what we want to do here is, I think the circus one I want to be this one. I'm going to do this. So what's new, Odari? What's happening? I haven't seen you in a while. We were getting the scoop from everybody else. Alessandra was going to tell us about her show and how it went. So I'm just assuming that this is going to work the way I want it to. We're all on the journey together here, folks. Okay. Okay, so this, can I like, these two, I want to apply parent to pages. I want sorts. All work, no play as always. Boo. Apply parent, 2 pages, coins. What the? Okay, I'm messing this up. So this is like, we're not going to worry about this right now. We're going to get rid of both, like we're going to get rid of this. Can we stop selecting that, please? I'm going to delete parent page. Yes. And then I get to actually what I'm looking for here. Okay. Chaos. There's a way to get this to work for that there's a background and all that kind of madness, but that's just for another day. Okay. I am going to show you what I do know about this program. Okay, so this is not going to be Major Arcana. That's not the case. So I'm going to change this to be, we'll go to the swords, and I'm going to go to my, go away. Okay, we'll see. We'll do the one that's first. So this is all my copy for the book right now. And because the Major Arcana are going to be different, because the Major Arcana are going to be laid out differently, that's why I'm skipping over all of them. And we're going to do this. Okay. So I'm just going to straight up copy the text, and I want it in this space. So I wonder, can I just want to show you guys, like, So that's what I'm gonna do. What? Mama says, forgive me if I missed out on something. I've been busy with my clan for some time. That's okay. I understand. I appreciate you being here in what capacity you can. Trying to take a break now to avoid further bone infections. That sounds ominous. Okay. Can I just do this for now? No, I can't. Okay. Oh, I just don't want to fight. I just don't want to have a fight right now. So the box with the X in it is like a placeholder for copies. So you can put this in here. It's called a rectangle frame tool, and that'll hold. It's good for images of different kinds. And as you kind of saw with me playing with the paper patterns, that is kind of like, it'll kind of almost mask it for you, and you can play around with it. And I'll show you what that means in a second. So I copied and pasted my text in here. And so I'm going to show you one of the things that we have here for InDesign. So you can have your text formatted however you want on your document. I just kind of kept it with how Pages did it on my iPad. You don't have to have it to be the font that you want or be anything that you want set up. You can set that all up in InDesign. So in here, I copied and pasted my text in. And then I have a few things over here on character styles that I set up personally. And you can set up for yourself in your document. So what the body text will have is here. I put it in. I called it body text myself. It's based on nothing. It's got its own links and own connections. These are all the characteristics of that font in here and there, and all this other kind of stuff. The color of it, any underlining options, any strike through options, anything I want, I can set up for that text and lay it out in here and save it as a character style. So as you could see, when I click on body text, it changes to all of those characteristics. If I do body text narrow, which I want to play with, then I can you can change it automatically. So and then if I find, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of content in here so that we can all work together. And you can see what I'm trying to explain with the visuals inside my head. So this will be the 2. It's okay, that's all different. And this will be the 3. And then we'll do 4. And I'll show you what the heck I'm talking about here. Whoops. And I think at least one of these has the wrong border on it, which is perfect. Okay, so what I can do here, see they're all different fonts right now, but if I select all my text boxes, then I just click body text and it puts all of it there for me. It puts all of that in this, for sure, like it goes all into that style. And then I'm like, I don't know, I think the text is a little big. I have nothing selected right now. So if I go into this character here and I'm like, let's try 8 points. And you can put preview on if you want to. You don't have to have it on. I like to have preview on to see what's going on. And then maybe I want it, instead of thin, maybe we want regular. Maybe we want light italic. I actually kind of really like that, but I think I always like the kind of font that no one can read. So I don't want it to be too light, but I think light works there. Ojari said, not doing the podcast yet. Been helping my girlfriend with her dad for the past 8 weeks. Oh gosh, triple bypass. Well, hopefully he's on the mend soon, because that's a lot. Family first. I think RB's being sarcastic, but yes, InDesign can do all of these things. So this can really help, like, because if you're doing kind of a couple page document, it's not overly challenging. But if you're like, I really want to like adjust this, you're doing a 100-page document, you're doing a full magazine, you're doing something that's, in this case, this could be like 100 pages. It's a lot. So this way, if you're just like, rather than, oh, this has to go down to 8 point, this has to go down to 8 point, oh, I didn't select it all. I didn't select it all, like it can go down, down a size. Oh, I don't like this font. Oops. Oh, see, there's no formatting there. Oops, that's the wrong one. So sorry. The body text, I'm like, okay, I want it to be bright and crazy or whatever else. So you can do whatever changes you want. And then you can, like, if you're like me right now, I'm playing with two different concepts in my head where I'm like, I kind of like how much space the narrow takes up over the body text. But this might be easier to read. This is where your test print comes in. It's something that I'll be doing as well. So something to just that you can play around with, rather than being like, if you miss one of these to reset it or something else, then you're not worrying about having to go find the one piece and then edit it out. Like, they should all be consistent, assuming you're helping InDesign play the game. Now there's 2 errors here. What are my text errors? Overset text. Oh, okay. No, I'll show you. I was going to show you what this is anyway. So if you have a text box and you have it set up like this, where I'm like, I only want the text to spit up this amount of space. You can see here in the bottom that there's a red plus sign here. That means there's more text in this box than the box can show you. So that was one of the errors that I had there. Like, hey, like, warning, if you print this, some of your text is missing. So I'm still going to play around with font size and stuff, but if I wanted it to continue on to the next column, all you have to do is click that little plus sign, and you can see this has been populated. And you can either just click it or click and drag, and your text will continue from there. So that's the continuation of that copy, so that you're not going to lose any of that text going forward. And it will kind of factor in. So if I do, let's move this down here so you can see what's going on. If I hit a enter button, I put in another space, the text is continuing from this box into the next one. So it's connecting all those different spaces. Now I'm going to leave those broken for right now because we're still playing around with kind of concepts and layouts. But that'll tell you that, and InDesign is going to keep track of it. So I've got that little red dot in the bottom that says that you've got a bunch of errors. So it'll let me print it this way if I want to, but it will inform me that there's a problem. So now I just want to get some images in here so we can mess around with it. So I'm going to file with one of my art frames selected. I'm going to place, we did swords, wands. I'm new to tarot. Welcome everybody. Holy cow. So the Ace of Wands, and I'm going to use the large ones that we did. So it just populated it in the size that it is at. But I'm just right clicking and I want to do, I found it earlier. Graphics? No. There was a sizing option. Shoot. Oh, not display performance. No. That does another thing. Fitting, that's what I wanted. See this, everybody has, each one of these softwares has something that's slightly different term for things. That's not what I was looking for. So here you can kind of like fill your space in a way that makes sense. So in this case, I'm going to pick fill frame proportionally. So it will shrink it down to the size of my frame without skewing my like stretching or changing how the card looks. It'll fit it down so it fits best without squishing it or pulling it. So in this case, I want to fit to the frame proportionally, or if you want to fit the content proportionally. So if you want to see all the content or you want to fit to the frame, you can play around with that if you want. Content to where, that kind of comes like, can be some of the like the AI bits, but also just kind of like what it'll kind of like take your layout into consideration. Or then you can have the frame fit to the content instead. I'm going to fit content proportionally because when I did it the other way, now I'll show you what I mean. So that fits the whole content, but if I fit the frame, yeah, it cuts off a little bit of the card, which I don't like. So we're gonna not do that. We're gonna have it fit the art so that all the round edges, they go here. And I have a sneaky suspicion that I don't want, and that's not a suspicion, I don't want that right up on the edge. Okay, right up against the margin. We don't want that. Okay, so for this one, so file place, like you can copy and paste, but there's no link. So there's a link here, a little link icon. That means it's linking to content. That is kind of the best way to leverage InDesign's capabilities. And I'll show you in a second what I mean by that. Because copy and paste, if something gets broken, no, that's not what I wanted. Oh, it went right in there, perfect. And then we'll do fitting, fit content proportionally. So perfect, that has the wrong border on it, so that's good. This will be an example of what I'm trying to show here. Could I not? Only place from up here, that's chaos. Oh, perfect. So you can have things connections. So you can do, again, easier updates. Where's the 3? Why is she down here? Final files. So this is why it's good to have things in a single folder. In this case, they're all in a big folder. But when you're doing this, right now, because these are linked, if I start moving where the files are, next time I open this document, it's gonna be like, hey bro, this is missing, I can't find this, I can't find that. So it kind of makes a mess. So I'm pretty solid in my structure right now, but if you tend to move files around, this might not be your best approach. Large, and then we're going to fit this to the content. That's 3 of them. This is outrageous. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So I'm going to show you what I mean by the linking. I might have found a problem with how I did my cards, but that's okay. So we're going to fix the fortune teller. So I saved this. Okay, so I'm going to go to the 3 of Wands because I know she was early on and she might have the files I need. Blech. Okay, Wands. 3 of Wands, fortune teller. I didn't keep raw final layout files for all of them, because I was worried about this filling my documents like a lot. Sorry, this is just me pondering my life here and what I did. I kept Illustrator files for each one of the layouts in early days, and then I opted to stop doing that because it was taking up too much space. Might get in my way here, but that's okay. That's a future me problem. Bradley Smith's on YouTube. Welcome. I said, I agree, file hierarchies are important. Yes, yes. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I already changed this to the black background because I know I printed her, because I printed her for the test run. But my final file large is still showing that paper pattern border. I didn't export this. I exported it out to the print file, but I didn't export it to the large. But this is where we're going to overwrite this, and I'm going to show you how InDesign will keep me informed as to what the heck's going on. I'm going to export my selection. Oh, this is just wildly inconvenient. Here. Okay, so she's here. Okay, what I want here is copy. You want the exact same naming. So I'm going to put this here. And then before I move it over, because it's going to get mad that there's two of the same name, I'm deleting the old one and moving this one over here. And then deleting this because I'll think there's stuff in there. That's just a me thing. So now when I go over to my InDesign file, I have a little warning sign. It says, hey bro, your thing's not working. And I clicked it and now it's linked, and now that was really fast. But you can see now. See, there's an error there. Oh, okay, hang on. I'm gonna have a minor panic attack here. Just calm down. So I rolled over this as modify, click to update, or option click and to open the links panel. So I'll show you what that looks like. Our links panel. So this is all the things I'm going to place in here, and it'll give me a warning that says, hey, this is a problem. And so this has been modified, or if you can't find it, it'll be like a red warning, like we can't find this file. It's in somewhere else. You've moved it. Figure out what the heck's going on. But here I'm just going to double click on it, and now it's updated. Right? So now, without me having to be like, oh, delete, replace, delete, replace, delete, replace, and this will maintain those connections for me. And then, like I said, if I work on this file and I go and leave for a while, and someone comes into my computer and moves all my files around, then when I come here to go print it, there'll be warning signs on it because like, hey, you busted this. Let's take a look and make sure that that's not the case. Okay. So there'll be a lot of warnings. There's all these little errors and stuff like that. So it's watching your file while you build these things. Oh, what am I doing? You just want to apply. How big is this one? Stop that. So this one's based off my body text. It's just because I copied and pasted it, but you can connect things if you're like, oh, I want it to be similar in size or whatever. The linking is a kind of more complex, so I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to confuse everybody. But play around with it. So, and then different things you can check with here. So if I just grab some of this text and I just manually go in and I'm like, I want this to be 12 point. Cool. But now when I select, like you can see, I have this box selected and there's narrow and there's a tiny plus sign. They're like, this is your body text, but it's been modified. So I can either just kind of bring it back, just click body text and bring it right back to where I want to. Or if I'm like, I want it to be a new style, then you can add it, say create new style based off of that. And then I can go in and edit it, and now that plus sign's gone. There's not a little added, this guy's an outlier, things are a little bit chaotic. So InDesign is going to be checking quite a few of these things. Bradley says, why not just make artboards in Illustrator and link them to InDesign? With PDF compatibility turned on, you can link artboards as pages and then have the option to edit the original. I do like that too. So what I do have, Bradley, which I was showing earlier on, is just some very basic layouts that I'm going to have, backgrounds. It's been a moon or two since I've been in InDesign. So I have been, I was playing around with the masters a little bit on how to lay out those backgrounds. But then I got like, I hit a wall with what I remembered from InDesign, but that's a really good suggestion. So that is kind of the tough part about some of the Adobe products, is that they sometimes, between the products, between like Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, Acrobat, there's sometimes slightly different terms for things, but the advantage is that they all play together. So like Bradley's suggestion is great. I'll read it again. Make artboards in Illustrator and link them to InDesign. With PDF compatibility turned on, you can link the artboards as pages and then have the options to edit the original. So see, like that's really great. I think that that's a really good option as well. There's lots of different workflows that you can play around with. It just kind of depends on how you want it to lay out and what you want it to have for your final design. So this is a great suggestion. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So always good different ways to play around. These guys are already here, so I can move these around in here if I want to. Oh, I'm not very good with InDesign images, but you can just like move them around. You can see there's kind of a mask there. It's still maintaining my window. I'm probably not going to play with that too much. I remember the first time I learned InDesign, it was even before I knew how to do masks in Illustrator, so I had no idea what was going on. Very overwhelming. Okay, so let's see if I might not have the Stargazer anymore, but let's see. The Stargazer, do I have the Illustrator file? I do! Magic. Did I not test print this one too? I did not. Okay, so simple here. I'll just show you how it works again. So I'm going to direct select and just take that pattern out of there, because luckily the background was black to begin with. So I just had that solid black as opposed to the pattern, just the pattern. So the black was in the background there. Export selection. Finder's going to pop that guy open for me. So I want this. So the key to having this happen a little more seamlessly is having same name, same location. So that's where your copy and paste comes in. I'm going to delete this one. And then we'll go back to InDesign. And this is just going to say modified, click to update. Bam. Done. Oh, Bradley also says his suggestion reduces the load of number of asset files in a project, which is huge too. Files like this can get ginormous, and it can be a lot for the computer to handle. And like I said, I'm asking a lot of my lovely computer these days. Move to trash. And let's see, does the ice garden have one? It does. Okay. This is why my computer's so slow. I have 84 million of the same Illustrator file. This is early days, guys. I thought I was streamlining. See, look at that beauty. Look at that beauty. File, export, selection. And this, I'm going to need these for the I am aware. The print layouts anyway, as like 2 weeks ago we had a stream and I was starting to do those, and there's a few of these that still have the paper pattern in. Actually, if I do this, it's a good sanity check. Replace. That way it'll delete the other one and make this one happen. It's a good sanity check to make sure I had the right name of it too. Okay, and then InDesign. An error. Bam, they're all black. Solid black instead of the patterns. Look at those beauties together. Look at them, so fancy pants. All right. So this will kind of be my process. I'm going to play around with Bradley's suggestion actually and see what he had, how that's going to work out for me as well, because that's also the advantage to having the suite available. I can play around with the different elements and different things that are going on. But here you can have everything all playing together, all linked together, and you're using your actual files. So if I had copied and pasted this from the Illustrator file or something, it wouldn't have linked to it. So if I had changed the background like I did, I'd have to go in and replace that piece of art as opposed to just letting it update itself, or keep an eye on it and throw any errors that might be coming my way. So this is how I'm going to be laying out the rest of these cards and working through them like on the pages. And it gives you an opportunity to see how things are going to look. And you can also do... No, that's not what I wanted. No, that's not what I wanted. Nope, I'm making a mess now. Stop that. And if you're working on your file and you find it's getting a little laggy, I think you can do, oh, what have I done? Relink? Oh, I undid the thing. What is going on? So if you're working and you're finding it challenging, like if you're doing like your last minute bits and you just kind of want to be working through the file and moving through quickly, getting some adjustments done, you can change the view, the display performance. So the fast, it just hid all the images away. So as you can see, my thing is moving a little bit better. Display, like, sorry, what was that? Typical display, you can move around here like this and that. This isn't going to look as crisp, but it doesn't mean it's not going to come out crisp. It's just it's just letting it move a little bit better. And then if I go to high quality display, everything's going to come in a beautiful, crisp color, no pixels or anything. But that could mean a bit of a lag. You can see my colors are refreshing and everything as I go. So as this file gets a little bit bigger, that might be a lot to ask. So that would be a check I would probably do later on. But for the performance part of it, you can hide away your images and start like moving around. Just check them before you go submitting for print and all that kind of fun stuff. So this is how I'm going to move forward with these. Mafu's going to go prepare for work. Have an excellent work day. I hope it goes really well. I hope you get some fabulous cleaning done. Wonderful hanging out with everyone. We're so happy to see you. Thanks, Mafu. So this is how I'm going to proceed through this. Like I said, I'm going to try Bradley's suggestion. I'm going to try a few different things for linking, etc. But I have my document, my Word document here that I'm going to use, copy and paste from. My images are all going to be linked, and this will help me lay out the book, see what it'll look like, run a test print, all that kind of fun stuff. I don't like that either. See, and this is where I get to play around with this. So I'm going to be messing around with this for the next few days and see how it comes through. Next week, I will not be streaming. I'm going to be on vacation. So with any luck, I'm going to be out in the bushes camping. But if not, I'm still going to be on vacation. So I will not see you all next week. But the week after, I'm coming back with a very fun Creative Jams. And I'm not going to spoiler it right now. I'm very excited. Oh, wait, hang on. When linking from Illustrator documents, be sure the AI and Illustrator and InDesign files are working in the same color space for the best performance and print quality. Oh, the color space. That's an excellent point. I always forget about the color space. So definitely keep that in mind for sure. Thank you so much for that suggestion. I like it. So yeah, so like I said, I won't be here next week, but I am going to be back the week after with an exciting Creative Jams. And we're going to be doing something fun, I'm sure. And then I'm sure the week after, like I'm hoping to have a very large book document for us to look at, and I can walk through a little bit of what I tried and how I got to where I was going. And with any luck, there's two, because there's going to be two books in the end. There's going to be this companion piece that goes with the deck. And then there's going to be one more complicated one that goes with the deck that explains kind of my tie back and my process and all that kind of fun stuff in it as well. So I will be back with those once I remember all my InDesign quirks. But for right now, I'm going to let everybody get back to their day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for Bradley Smith. We've got Mafu, Alessandra's here, RB was here, Odari lurking in the background. I like it. Antoine, as always, happy to see you. I hope you were all having an excellent summer, and anybody who's just been chilling in the background. I hope you're all having a great summer so far and a great start to your week, and I will catch you all in a couple weeks. Bye, guys.